So another concept that's probably familiar to people, especially if they're into serialism, and is a process that is definitely handled in Schillinger, is this idea of retrograding. And in other words, playing something backwards or reversing the order of a certain parameter. In the case of this program, I've created the ability to retrograde a couple of distinct things. Under the transposition section that I previously covered, we've got these retrograde functions here. Basically, the two things we can retrograde in this program are the ARP order, in other words, the order of the notes themselves that are coming out of the ARP process, or the actual rhythm of the ARP independent of the notes. And so that's covered here. Now, so this is the part that handles the retrograding of the ARP order, and this is the part that handles the retrograding of the ARP rhythm. These final values, ARP order direction and ARP rhythm direction, these are kind of on regardless of how you set things in this program. So up until now, we just had this set to 1, and 1 is the normal order. -1 is the retrograde. So we've had it as 1 and 1 on, oops, and that's just sort of been set. Now, if you turn these on, so retro ARP order on, it's been off. If we turn that on, what this does is it allows us to actually create a pattern of retrograding. Meaning, if we leave it off, this is currently playing in normal order. If we set this to -1, it's now going to play in reverse order. Now, since the last section, I did change something. So I set this sequence of notes here. So just the beginning of a minor scale, so C minor scale. So degrees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and C minor scale. And I've got the other parts turned off, so you're just going to hear the ARP. So no bass, auto-generated bass, and no chords. And I've got auto-generate ARP order on. So it's just going to be stepping through these values. Let me reset it back to 1 just so you can hear that. As you can see, so it'll just repeat that way, and my ARP rhythm is a whole note, half note, half note, quarter note, quarter note. And so it's just repeatedly stepping through those 5 notes with this 5-figure rhythmic pattern. So if I change this to -1, it's going to do, it's not going to change the rhythmic pattern, but it is going to change the note pattern. And the number of notes I've got is the same as the number of durations in the rhythmic figure, so it's just going to repeat. It's not very interesting. And so it's playing it in reverse order. Now, what if we turn this on? Well, now it's going to play in whatever the initial direction is for 4 beats, and then it's going to reverse direction for 2 beats, and then it's going to reverse again for 4, and then it's going to reverse again for 2. Let's actually change this just so it's easy to hear. So let's look at carefully designing this. So I'm going to go over to my debug rather than scrolling up. So the rhythmic figure is 4, 2, 2, 1, 1. So let's say we want it to play at the normal order for 6 beats. Actually, so let's do the whole thing. So the whole thing is 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1, which is 10. So let's say, let's just kind of put it in 10 here, which means it's going to start in retrograde, play the whole figure, 10 beats, and then it's going to reverse. So as you can see, the rhythm didn't change, but the order of the notes swapped every time we went through the rhythmic pattern. Right? Let's, for simplicity's sake, set this back to the regular order, and we're going to turn off the retrograde ARP order. And now let's turn on the retrograding of the rhythm alone. Again, this isn't going to change the order of the notes, but it is going to change the order of the rhythm. And again, I've set it to 10 to be the total of the... I want it to play the whole rhythmic figure before it swaps. And we're going to start in the correct order, or the original order. So as you can see, it played once forward, once backward, and then it was starting to play forward again when I stopped it. We could, let's have it reverse part of the way through. So let's say it's going to play for 6 beats and then 4 beats. Now it's kind of like looping this section over because it's playing this and then it's playing it backwards. It's doing 4, 2, and then 2, 4. So we actually never really get to this latter part of this rhythm. So let's make that a little bit more interesting. Let's say we're going to play it forward for 6, then we're going to go back for 8. And let's just let's add that and see what happens. So as you can see, I played forward for 6, then it went back for 8. So it got, went through 4, 2, and 2, 4, 1, 1, and then it went forward for 3. So it kind of, it ended up sort of halfway into the 4 when it, or part of the way into the 4 when it then reversed again. Let's do this and turn this one on. So every 4 beats, it's going to reverse the order of the notes, and then it's going to follow this pattern for reversing the actual order of the rhythm. So as you can see, even just using that, we've already created quite a lot of variety of contour just from these original 5 notes, just by kind of swapping back and forth the order at which they play.